You have proven Scientology right, Adrian.
Well, I'm not
You
John
have
Brandenburg may be
validated the
full of shit,
backstory of
and it
Z.
may be wrong, but there is there are it's not just, the Scientologists who are talking about ancient nuclear weapons. Bar.
Yeah, go run the bar. Like the thing that Kim Kardashian failed.
What? Did she take the bar exam?
Yeah, did you hear her fucking excuse? I guess you didn't know because you didn't know she took the bar exam. Nice.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds' 1973 album.
Oh
Ask
wait,
me, ask me what I am.
like I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's just a normal thing for Burt Reynolds to have a country album. And then it took a second for it to click. I was like, oh wait, no, he's an actor, not a country music sensation.
It's true. Plus, that's not a country album.
It isn't?
No,
He
there's
needs to
a
do
but
a different picture then, because that's a very
yeah,
country
I know. Well,
picture.
even it's not really a cowboy hat. It's more like a pimp hat.
Oh yeah, and I guess that's that weird like outlaw country look.
So handsome. But he there's a it's like more like it's just easy, not easy listening. Yeah, I guess easy listening, adult oriented pop. But there's a song on it called She's Taking a She's Taking a Gentle Lover. And
Oh,
it all starts with a Burt Reynolds voiceover where he's saying like love can be mysterious, strange, and sometimes very sad. And then you're like, oh, that's interesting. He's talking about love. It's all true. And he says it can really break your heart. True. Then he goes, a triangle is a shape defined by three straight sides. And then you're thinking, why is he talking about geometry now? And then but one time, sometimes one of those, only one side is straight. And then it goes into this horrible, it's a really bad song, but it's all about how his lady is like meeting some other person in a bar they call the Golden Eye, and it's a gentle lover. And he realized, oh, his fucking girlfriend's a dyke.
lesbian.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that reminds me somehow of like, did you ever hear the band Yacht? They're contemporary, meaning they're new, which I don't know why people say contemporary instead of new, but this band Yacht, but they always said one of their sayings was it takes 3 points to make it to for something to for an idea to take shape.
No.
And it was like a band, I don't even, but so like their symbol was a triangle. Anyways, that was the only thing. And it's just
Right.
weird that two bands have triangle symbolism. And I think the
It's
singer of
not.
Yacht is a lesbian, so I guess there's
Oh,
two. And if she's not, sorry, but she acts and looks like one, and I like her music. So usually that, like, if I like a girl's music, usually it means they're lesbian because I fucking love lesbian music. Not like Sarah McLachlan, but like Tegan and Sarah lesbian, like vocal
yeah,
synth indie music from
yeah,
lesbians.
yeah.
Nothing better.
Yeah, fair enough. I disagree.
Oh, I just want to touch back on the Kim Kardashian thing
Right,
before we
sorry.
started talking about Burt Reynolds, which is totally way better to talk about than Kim Kardashian. But she said she failed the bar because she used ChatGPT to study and it caused her to study all the wrong things. And AI is basically just fucking everybody over who's dumb enough to use it to do shortcuts. They're
Right.
like, gee, how does this thing that I'm using to do shortcuts just end up fucking me over?
Yeah, yeah. I wish I had any like a more sophisticated perspective on it. I haven't touched AI
Neither have I.
except that it's, I mean, it's forced on me. Like, Google's over, so but
Oh, wait. I have to correct myself from this clearly AI imaged background. I've only used AI to do like
yeah.
turn photos into anime art and come up with fantasy hockey logos. That's it.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine, but just doing that, you burn down the Amazon doing that.
Well, if Carney has his way, we'll be fucking burning down the BC coast using AI.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons he wants Danielle Smith to do the pipeline is so that they can do fucking data centers. And we're gonna be so fucked if all these people use like get the data centers they build because they're like, oh, you could use like extra special Google, and they're like, but your like utility rate, your electricity rates will double. Like I think I'd rather just have regular old Google and half price electricity.
I think the only people who should be simultaneously surprised by this while also doing extraordinary mental calisthenics to justify it are the elbows up liberal voters who never gave a second of thought to who or what they were actually quote unquote voting for.
Oh yeah, dude. Like Carney's not even a liberal anymore. He's just a conservative. He's like Stephen
Never,
Harper wearing
he never
red.
was. I
Yeah.
mean, we've said this so many times now. It's getting boring. Not for me, but it's like it's just everything is so brazen now. Everything is
hmm
there. Any attempt to massage public opinion or manage perception. It's the machine runs so smoothly they don't really have to do it because people are just carrying on. They're just carrying on. They're going to
Yeah.
pretend that Mark Carney was anything but a plant.
Oh yeah, like
Always
oh the
been a plant.
fucking guy who ran the World Bank and like WEF like president or
Well,
whatever he fucking was. Like,
he
oh
was
yeah,
he ran the Bank of England when the pound collapsed.
well, that's sure that's
And
pretty much the World Bank.
so it's yeah. So, no, he's been installed to oversee Canada's managed decline. He's
Which
just
I don't
again, let's not to repeat ourselves. He's just another Manchurian leader.
like see no, exactly. I agree with you. The one thing I don't get, like, we'll just go full conspiracy talk because that's all we want to do anyway.
We don't
But
use
it's
that
like you
word.
keep hearing about like the managed decline of countries and stuff. And it's fairly obvious that like between the States, England, Australia, and Canada, that the Commonwealth, they're just like fucking, we're gonna like dismantle it slowly from the inside out. But the only thing I don't understand is why. Like they have enough money, they have as much power as they could ever want. Like
They don't
what?
have any money. No, 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 no. The debt crisis is insurmountable. That's why we're
Oh,
bankrupt. We've been bankrupt for a long time. 2008 was the prelude.
hmm.
What's coming? It's already started. Is global and much worse.
So by dismantling the countries, is that like a kind of bankruptcy claiming? Like how can this country pay its debt when it's fucking
You need a complete overhaul of the financial system. The Ponzi scheme is over. The pyramid is toppling.
but I don't understand why like fucking the WEF wants to redo the pyramid.
Well, because they're all stakeholders in it. I mean, that it's
Oh,
not it's
okay.
not to say that there isn't wealth to be made out of this.
Hmm.
Like any crisis is an opportunity,
That's
and
true.
the billionaires club, they're way ahead of us.
Yeah, I
So
know, but it's like
So what's what are the WEF, all those things they talk about,
mhm.
which when you then try to relay them to your friends, you'll be met with disdain, and then you go, why don't you just fucking listen to them? It's not, I'm not a
Yeah.
crazy person saying, oh, they want to put an implant in you. They're telling you this.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. I hear it, I see it, and then I
No,
parlay
I
it.
agree with you. Like anybody who has a memory that lasts over 3 years is just gonna turn into a conspiracy theorist. But the thing, like, I don't know, like maybe it's just me not fully grasping. Like I get that they're doing it, and I get that the financial system right now is fucked, and they're gonna have to do something new. So are they just trying to like get in on the base floor of the new system so they control it and own it before we all have to buy into it type of deal?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense to me now.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not gonna pretend to be. I'm not an economist, and I'm not, and
Hmm.
I'm largely pretty stupid. I'm just a humble bartender,
Yeah,
sometime drummer. And you know what drummers are like. But
keep in time.
that's the one thing I am good at. I guess there are a couple of guitar players out there who might disagree, but
Yeah.
I'm good at keeping time. I'm good at observing. I'm a good heads up player. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just going through life with my head up, looking. I don't want to lie to myself about things. And I think you're the same. We get it wrong sometimes,
Hmm.
but we mostly don't. And it's yeah, I don't know. Well, again, not to repeat myself, I don't understand I don't understand why people will submit to their like delusion
Yeah.
or bury their heads or look the other way or pretend it's not happening. It's happening. It's clearly happening. We are in collapse.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
very, very real.
I get why you'd want to pretend it's not happening because if you like realize like let's just be like so they're dismantling the country on purpose. Carney set in to just like if you admit that to yourself, you're like, well, fuck, it just kind of seems all hopeless. Like, what are we to do? But on the other hand, it's
But
like
it's
they don't
hopeless the
want
other
you
way.
to yeah, you don't want them, they don't want us to realize because the funny thing that I keep saying is whether you're talking about spirituality or occultism or centralized power, basically the kryptonite of their programs is us just like liking each other and getting along and talking to each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like the more we just like, and I guess that's why they have like the polarizing politics and stuff, like all the like how all the fuck Trudeau guys turned into fuck Carney when Carney's exactly everything that they hated about Trudeau. Like he's exactly what they wanted in comparison to what they hated about Trudeau. Like
But
just like
that's
slashing government laws to do pipelines and bullshit like that.
it's a very it seems like it's almost comical like somehow a large number of people have been persuaded that a gray-faced bureaucrat is the right person to lead a country,
Yeah.
in as much as anybody's leading anything, no individual is doing that. But yeah, it's very odd. I mean, Carney's sort of fascinating. I mean, even my wife, who I love, and who's I love my wife, by the way.
Hmm.
And she, one of the smartest people I've ever known. And but she went and read his book, and I was like,
Oh
why? What the
wow.
fuck? She's like, well, he's the new prime minister. I'm interested. And of course, she came away from that book going, that was the worst thing I've ever read. And who is this?
This
What is this
clown.
thing? Yeah,
That seems like fucking hate homework to
I
read
know.
that
It's
book. Like you
Why
read
put
it just so
yourself
you
through
can
it?
find reasons to hate the guy.
But yeah, it's also like, oh, we're gonna bore you into compliance.
But I just want to say I still like him better than Polivier. I
Yeah, I
can't
don't.
stand that guy.
They all suck.
Yeah.
They all
Because
suck.
it's funny because it's like I've always thought of it ironic. Like Polivier, one of his things was he was like when Trudeau was still around, he was like getting on Trudeau about the housing crisis and stuff and being like, "Oh, the government isn't doing enough for the housing crisis." And then you're like, "Wait, is a conservative calling for the government to control housing more? Like is the conservative like leader asking for the liberal prime minister to have more regulations and more control? Is he asking for public housing? Because that's what that seems like.
Yeah, I mean the Canadian Tories, they sort of make gestures towards this phantom, this memory we have of a thing that was once called the free market. They say the words sometimes, but the truth is, as you know, like they're all just one or another stripe of technocrat, all of them.
Yeah.
It's not left or right, it's up or down. Some of them are a little
Hmm.
more vicious than others. But under one regime, things might happen a little quicker or a little differently, but they're all pointing in the same direction.
Yeah.
Capital, and that's why I have to smile when, I mean, it's refreshing, I suppose, that, a big catchphrase 5 years ago was blame capitalism, because you could just do that.
Yeah.
Any fucking problem, no matter how abstract, you would go, well,
Hmm.
blame capitalism, which there was some truth to that 50 years ago. We don't, there's no capitalism around us right now, or very little.
Yeah. It's
There's
basically
corporate
like,
capitalism.
yeah,
There's
corporations are all like socialized where they get all these rights
Yeah,
that humans should have, but they
yeah.
don't. But
They're
like
guaranteed an income.
I still think the problem is capitalism. It's just a very specific sliver. Like I was just watching an Ian Carroll video and he was talking about the first time like that Dodge sued Ford in like 1914. So Ford what like Dodge like built cars for Ford as like a subsidiary like subcontractor and then they split away and made their own company. It was like two Dodge brothers. I don't know their names. You can do some fucking hate homework yourself if you want
I
to
think
know
it's
the
Groucho and
particulars.
Harpo.
Yeah. So what happened was Henry Ford somehow grew a heart. Well, I guess he was always kind of If you just ignore the racism and anti-Semitism, he had a heart. And he was basically saying, why are we like, if we give our employees more money, they'll buy more products from us, and and the way capitalism is supposed to work, it'll work. And then Dodge knew that they couldn't compete with that because Ford was too big and they're too small. And Dodge sued them and said, hey, 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 you can't be nice to your employees. Your prime directive, it's called something else legally, but basically your prime directive is to your shareholders. So they sued in like the Supreme Court of America or whatever state they're in that Ford wouldn't be able to raise the wages of all their employees because then it would undercut um the shareholders who making money. Like it would undercut their fucking, what do you call it? Oh my God, my brain just farted. Like
I
when
don't
you
know.
make money, what's that called?
Profit?
Profits. It would undercut the profits of the shareholders.
Yeah.
See what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they won. So Ford couldn't do that. And ever since 1914, this is like still one of the laws on the books for capitalism where your shareholders are the number one priority of any company. That's why anything that's publicly offered that or has a stock, they always have to answer to the board. They can't just be like, we're going to make everybody's life easier. The board can be like, well, we own this place and we only bought this to make money. And whatever, I don't know, fucking Wizard of Oz, man behind the curtain form of capitalism we currently have will suffer if this. And that's the reason why fucking Elon Musk took Twitter private again, so that he wouldn't have to answer to the board.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. You're not speaking. I'm sure that's all true
So,
and probably a very good analysis, but I don't know.
but this is just to all this, like me forgetting words, is to just pinpoint my exact problem with capitalism. And it's not that it's the capitalism system, it's that it's the capitalist system that fucking sucks the dick of the shareholders. And so, like, you get into this thing where exponential growth, they got addicted to that somewhere in the 70s or 80s, where it's like they don't even, profits aren't even good enough anymore. Like, they have to look at what they did last year and do better. So they
Hmm.
have to grow every time or they're considered a failure. Nobody's like just being like,
Sure.
well, we made a bunch of money. We're good.
Yeah, yeah. I think that whatever the doctrine of infinite growth is like at this point is so deeply internalized. But again, I don't know. I don't know how that's relevant in the sort of the chaotic moment we're experiencing right now. I don't understand. I will say this.
Hmm.
If there, I would recommend. There's a fantastic podcast called Geopolitics and Empire. Have you encountered this one yet?
No, I haven't.
So it's I can't remember the name of the host. Smart guy, Croatian guy living in Mexico. But
That's a
his
mix. I'd love to hear his accent.
yeah, but I mean a big part of his gestalt is first of all,
German word points.
I'm married to a German.
Oh, that's better than using synergy, I guess,
Yeah, I tend not to use that
which is
word.
the same meaning. Anyway, sorry guys, I
No, it's
just
not. But anyway,
nerd worded,
his whole thing
word
is
worded.
you get, there's nowhere to run. And he's right. But
Yeah.
he gets a lot of really, really great guests, fantastic and very knowledgeable guests. And they're largely talking economics and sort of the global finance and how that's all playing out. It's a very, I mean, these are highly uh, highly competent, highly knowledgeable professionals who are in a state of extreme panic right now,
Hmm.
trying to figure out how it's all going to shake down.
Yeah.
But what we said at the top of the show is fundamental to their thinking. They're also, heretical in that they're, people that have had careers in university still do and so forth, but have to go off camp to say these things because
Hmm.
you can't say them inside conventional institutions anymore, or you will be, you're going to lose your status. Um, but yeah, they're talking about the stuff we're trying to talk about, like a couple of assholes. But
Honestly,
they,
who would you rather hear this shit from? Boring college educated
but that's
professionals
the
or two assholes?
I'd like a little bit of both
Mm.
personally. And I got to say, they're not. It's not boring. It's never boring, and it's actually quite invigorating. And I suppose this speaks to you the point you made earlier about you said something about how sort of opening your eyes and looking around can be a little demoralizing.
Hmm.
And I get that. And it's an argument I've heard for decades now. It's like, well, it's demotivating to get into these conspiracy theories and so forth. But I've never believed that for a second. I think it's far more demotivating to smoke pot and not think about shit
Oh, that's
and
true.
just let it happen. You're already demotivated.
Hmm.
And certainly as one awakens, it's painful, yes, but it's better. It's better. It's
Yeah.
better to live not inside the hallucination. I really believe this, in my heart. But
That's
again, I'm a
sorry.
drummer.
I just want to intercept there. This is one of the reasons why I actually like Trump. I know a couple
Oh
months or
fuck.
like a month or two ago, I spent like the whole podcast sucking Trump's dick, and then
You
it
gotta
blew
stop.
up in my face because he's just a fucking retard. But this is why I like him. It's not because he's any good or he's doing any good, like he makes big promises, but it's almost like he's forcing everybody to take a look around and see how fucked up everything was. Like his tariffs, for example. Everybody sees those and they're like, what the fuck are we doing with tariffs? This is a bad idea. But he's all like, oh yeah, we offshored all the stuff. And it's like the guy
He
in
does,
me
yeah.
who bought one fucking issue of uh
Look at you can't think
I
anymore.
can't even think. I don't know what it is. I'm welding too much. But anyways,
Did
like
you get a
oh,
booster?
Adbusters. I bought one issue of Adbusters in fucking college when I was in first year, and it basically changed my whole personality. And then it was too depressing. I never bought another one.
Did you
But
start blaming capitalism after that?
yeah, well, what Trump is saying is basically what you'd read in Adbusters. Like part of the problem with today's financialness is that all these greedy corporations offshored all their jobs and kind of like hollowed out the middle class, which there's more to it than that. And politicians are probably the ones mostly to blame for it. But this tariff thing, you're like anybody who looked at it for more than 5 minutes will be like, well, what the fuck's he talking about tariffs? And you're like, oh, all this stuff comes from somewhere else. Like, why the fuck is Detroit totally dilapidated and they build all their cars in Ontario? And it's like, well, because it was cheaper. So all the fucking greedy corporations just started doing it in Ontario and basically said, fuck you, Detroit. We want to make some more money for our fucking shareholders. And then and the problem with his tariffs is it's not going to solve fucking offshoring for like maybe 2 generations it'll take for like, and
No.
he's kind of like
But
giving
it
too
is going to
much.
plunge the world economic system into a kind of chaos, which is
Yeah, it
desirable.
definitely did. But like one of the
It's
things is
accelerating matters.
if in a perfect world where like you could just do drastic measures, charging car companies way more for importing parts from that were built in Mexico or Canada would cause them to bring their fucking factories back to Detroit. But he's like not thinking about it in realistic real
No,
world terms. Like that's a computer model way of doing it.
I think there was a defense for a little while amongst credible people, at least, a defense of Trump, a tepid defense, and that
Hmm.
there was the idea or there was a sense that this administration was going to pursue policy that would return the America to a manufacturing kind of economic base instead of the financial one,
Yeah.
and which is what the Democrats are, right? It's
Hmm.
all about it's all about Wall Street. Trump, it was said, well, maybe he wants to make America work again.
Yeah.
I think that was highly naive.
Yeah.
Um, but I could see the appeal. I could see why it was a little seductive.
Hmm.
And then on the further to that, I would say I agree with you. Like he's either by accident or by design, and I really can't tell which one it is because he is a chaos agent, like a genuinely a chaos agent.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Like he's a lord of misrule, which is an archetype that I think is worth looking into. Boris Johnson was the same, and there's quite a few of them right now knocking around.
Yeah, seems
These
like.
almost comic figures
Hmm.
who, he tends to crack the facade a little bit by
Yeah.
accident or by design. I don't think, it's not because Donald Trump cares about you or cares about the average American. Um, he's just, he is just a front man, but and I think he is obviously controlled, but he's
Hmm.
not totally controlled. Like he
Yeah.
can't help himself. He's a fucking lunatic. I mean,
Yeah,
the
like
man
he
is
does once in a while say the quiet part out loud.
he
And
does, and I
then,
think yeah. What's it? Either way, it's not. I'm not sure that it helps.
hmm.
I suppose some people kind of blink themselves awake because of that, but equally, it's also that they're persuaded that Trump's their guy because of that. Like they think, Trump's not representing anybody except, obviously himself
Yeah,
and
his
the
kids.
fucking Silicon Valley, the tech oligarchs who are
Hmm.
building this fucking digital prison, this panopticon all around us.
Hmm.
That's who's running things right now. The Trump administration is their bitch. Just like the Carney government is their bitch. It's the same everywhere. It's the same in Europe. It's the same in the UK. It's the
One
same
thing I
in
was thinking about
Russia.
you said when you said you didn't know if it was like on purpose or by accident. And like when I said he's like saying the quiet thing out loud, I just realized it could be like this soul, like kind of like demoralizing tactic where it's like if you're a head in the sand guy, you're like, well, obviously the fucking government knows what they're doing and they're not like they don't have these all these secret agendas. But then like Trump will say like the quiet part out loud when you'll be and you'll it'll just like kind of subconsciously force you to come to terms with they know exactly what the fuck they're doing and they all know it. They're just not talking about it. So it's like you get a glimpse behind the curtain, and instead of being like, see, this is what they're all doing, we'll rise up, you it kind of demoralizes you and you're like, oh, they know what they're doing and we can't do anything about it. So it's like the more times Trump says shit like one of the examples was when he was talking about Israel and Netanyahu, and he was like, "I'm starting to think it's Netanyahu who doesn't want the deal to get the hostages back." This was like right before he was president, and then you hear that, and you're like, "Well, fuck, he obviously knows what the actual problem is with this current conflict." And then on one hand, you'd be like, "Well, if he knows what's going on, maybe he's going to work to fix it." But then you see him not work to fix it, and you're like, "Well, he knows exactly what's going on." And then it just makes us feel bad and lose trust in the government and society and each other.
I guess yeah, I don't know, but certainly I would add to all that I still think that leaders are still playing politics up to a point. It's not.
Oh
It's.
yeah.
I don't think it's just. I don't think like they're all in agreement with one another. I think there are internecine battles and everybody's jockeying for more power all the time.
That's
So it's
true.
not. I think it's a mistake to see it all as one enormous stage managed plot with everybody. You know, everybody. I don't think everybody's been handed the same script.
Yeah.
Their politics still happens,
Yeah.
but the thrust, the general direction is
Mhm.
in one. There's only one. There's only one way that we're going, and
Like I
they're
like
all on board with that.
Yeah. I like the way Joe Rogan said he like just says like it's like an aircraft carrier and you'll get a fucking guy who'll jump on the wheel and just crank it and nothing will happen because it's this giant fucking ship that's sailing in one direction and you can maybe change it kind of slightly, but you can't do anything radical moves because it's just a big fucking ocean liner carrier and it won't. One thing that I just thought of when you were talking about politics and jockeying for power and stuff, and it's not related to anything. I just want to get your opinion on this and see like if you have any like fucking conspiracy guru advice for me. Why do you think MTG retired, like quit?
Oh, I have no, I don't, I have no
Oh,
idea. These people, look, I don't care about them. You're far more invested in these personalities than I am.
well, it's just like I don't know. It's like she was standing up for the Epstein thing, and it's like because
You,
she was
you're
like
you
she
you're
was
suggesting that she actually has a conscience and did a conscientious human thing.
well, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking if you like know her motives because you don't go from like
No,
the fucking
I don't.
like Washington crazy bitch who like fucking just destroys everything and picks fight for no reason, to all of a sudden I have a conscience even though I've made all this fucking money doing probably crooked construction company, and buying stocks and stuff, to all of a sudden where she like cares about the victim of the Epstein files now, like 20 years later. She's all like, we gotta like get the stuff out. And then Trump pulls her
Mhm.
into like a fucking secret meeting in one of the
Right.
skiffs in Washington. And then like the next week she quits. And I
Yeah.
was just like, obviously, either
Who
may
knows?
like who knows why? Like
Who
I
knows?
can only guess.
Maybe quitting is what was she was at. I mean, maybe she was prevailed upon to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't
Ma-
know.
Maybe
She's got a
Trump
role to
showed her the
play. I mean,
secret deal.
a narcissist is a narcissist.
That's true. Maybe
I
Trump
get,
showed her the secret deal that they made with aliens, and she's like, I can't fucking deal with this. I'm out. Like that one. Who was it that made
I think that's probably not what happened.
in 1950? Don't rain on my parade, Adrian. Politics are boring, and for whatever reason, it's the only thing I can like pay attention to when I'm listening to podcasts. Okay,
Yeah.
who was the president in 1954? Was it
Oh, I don't know.
Roosevelt?
What? No. 54? Why don't we ask my magic
Oh wait,
phone?
Teddy Roosevelt. That he was like way before. It's that other guy.
Oh.
It's the guy who took over after the war, isn't it?
Ike.
Yeah, maybe it
Eisenhower?
was like, yeah, I think it was Eisenhower. Anyway, so there's this conspiracy theory that in 1954 he met with the gray aliens in some in underground mountain base, and they worked out a deal where he would let the Greys abduct people in national parks. That's all the whole missing 411 thing was, and then that they would give them like roped off access where it's like like there's some caves you're not allowed to go in. Like even in northern BC, if you go in, you get fined $1 million
Mm-hmm.
because of ecological preserves or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're doing this. Oh, and also for whatever reason, there's a marsh here in Pitt Meadows that they just opened up. They're like, it was closed for like 10 years for ecologicalness, and we just like, we feel like it's grown. So you go, like, I went there last weekend to go check it out, and they have a fucking paved road all the way right to the park
Yeah.
that was closed for a decade for
Yeah.
ecological reserves. And then they just
Uh-huh.
go in and we're like, hey, we're paving it. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense, but it
Yeah,
does make
there
sense.
are zones of interest around us to coin a phrase.
Makes sense. I'm not saying this is what happened, but it would make sense if the aliens were there and that's what the road was for, and
Well,
then they just left.
it was allegedly also there was there's a film apparently I think Harry Truman shaking hands with aliens.
Oh,
None of
maybe that
this is
was
true,
him.
as you know.
So,
So
anyways, the
that,
whole point of this is maybe that's what he showed fucking MTG.
no, I don't think so. But
Oh, you think it's just like fucking annoying, like pedophile cult shit?
yeah, I do actually think it's all just
So
annoying
depressing.
pedophile. And let's use the preferred nomenclature. It's minor attracted persons.
Oh God. It's funny because like I had like when I first met you in like what was that, 2007, 2006?
See, my child was born in 2005. I think you joined just no, because you knew her before she was born.
Oh yeah, so 2005.
So
I'm
2004.
Yeah, so this was like in the conspiracy enthusiast narrative of my life. This was a big like I got because I was always kind of into conspiracies, and I found out you were, and I was like, oh shit, what should I do? What should I read? What can I find more information? And
Yeah.
you directed me to this thing called Rigorous Intuition blog.
Oh
And
yeah.
I fucking read that so much for the next 6 months because it was like early days of internet where you couldn't just go see like fucking Tic Tac alien videos. But I got so disheartened because it just seemed like it always ended up in molestation in the basement of a church. And
Yeah.
then I was like, I give up on fucking conspiracies. I don't want to touch this anymore. And then like 10 years later, probably 2015, 16, by way of like, I guess Rogan and stuff, where he's talking about Operation Paperclip, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And because I didn't know about the Nazis and stuff, so I like learn about that. And then I learn about all these false flags and then some alien shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm back in. I'm way into conspiracies again. And now we're back at the point where it's just fucking kids getting molested in church basements. It's
Yeah.
so fucking annoying that that's where conspiracies always lead. It's never like, hey, we're going to give people superpowers. It's like, we're just like fucking evil cult members who, for whatever reason, we have to do this to kids for like low vibration.
It does tend to always end at, yeah, that mystery religions and secret societies and rituals
Yeah.
that are much of it sort of conducted almost in the open, so as to discredit, but also feed the evil.
Yeah, it's also like
The
that revolution of the method where it's like,
revelation of the method, all that. I know,
yeah.
and so rigorous intuition. What an incredible resource that was, and of course the uh, wholesale destruction of the internet as we used to know it is tragic for reasons, for a million reasons. That's
Mhm.
one of them, is that a resource like rigorous intuition, which was an really uh, remarkable. It was a message board. It was
Yeah.
uh, well, I can't remember the with a PHP, whatever. Uh, some of the best minds, some of the
Hmm.
best minds you'll ever encounter, including some pretty prominent figures. It turned out you didn't know because everyone had a pseudonym, but some very impressive people all convening and sharing their thoughts and fears about things that were, not spoken about in polite society, all under the aegis of a great writer, a great Canadian writer. I'm not going to say his name because I think he prefers he would prefer not to be named.
Yeah, I think
But
he's distanced himself from it. Because
well, he's very busy on Twitter and everything. I mean, I'm still.
do you still see him? I haven't seen him in a while. That was my next question was, have you seen this guy? I feel like I kind
Oh
of
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah, but I think, like most of us, he's consumed with his life, and but
Yeah.
he'll have a burst of energy, and he always has something. I mean, his analysis is excellent. I have to
Hmm.
say, this is somebody who uh, was very important in uh, the worldview that I now have.
Yeah.
I think he would be disturbed almost to hear that because he's one of the things that was great about rigorous intuition is that it was very carefully moderated and curated. He
Yeah.
was painstaking in making sure it did not tip over into madness.
Yeah, because it did a really good job of like taking you right up to the edge of being black pilled, but not quite pushing you over into just being a nihilist and losing all hope. I mean,
It
even
was
though I
a it
just,
was a rational, cold-eyed look at
hmm.
what was fucking happening, which is exactly what we keep saying. Like it was eyes open. That's all.
Do you
And
think
at
the
a certain
archives still
point, you have
exist?
you have to say it. You have to what are you seeing? You're seeing this. Why are you seeing this? What's the context? How does it relate to hundreds of years, generations of powerful, influential families, whomever, doing this? Who do they pray to? Who do they worship? What are they
Hmm.
up to? Why? Why does it continue? Why is it always occluded? Why is it always, uh, you know, uh,
Yeah.
mystified
I
for
think
us?
another question is, why was it always occluded up until like 2 years ago when they're like, all right, everything's out in the open? Like,
Because we're in
oh,
collapse and everything now it's like it's go time.
did you see that fucking, did I send you the screenshot of like, I got a targeted ad from like the Rosicrucians, the
Yeah,
Church of the Golden Dawn? Like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like, I get that you're like kind of coming out of the shadows. Maybe stick a tiptoe out. Don't be like send targeted ads asking for people. And then like there's that BBC documentary on the Masons and they're complaining about how nobody's joining anymore. So they're like doing like a documentary to like show how cool and like how like a touch butt group of dudes it was. And like so they could get more members. And it's like if I know anything about the Masons, it's like they don't need more members. They have all the money and control they would could ever want.
Yeah, I think whatever it is the Masons were successful in doing secretly, in order to uh, sort of, maintain the status quo, maintain power. Um, that might have moved on to a different group. I don't know. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
bit like, that saying, you don't if you know their names, they're not really in
Yeah,
power,
that's true.
right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like that. The Masons is cartoonish. Same with Scientology. Scientology doesn't have anything like uh, the juice that it used to have. Like, Kurt Metzger did a really interesting interview a couple of weeks ago with former Scientologist, like high-ranking Scientologists, where they talked about the real numbers, real membership numbers, and it's like it's grim. It's
Oh
grim.
yeah.
I mean, they still have very influential people in their ranks, and they're still wealthy, I think,
What did he do
mostly
that
real
on?
estate.
That
Hey,
interview. What did he do that interview on?
on his whatever Derp with Kerp.
Oh, is that his podcast?
Yeah. Oh, have you not seen Derp with Kerp?
Oh, because he had Can't Get Right for a while as a
No.
podcast, and then that just kind of stopped. And then I guess I'll go look for Derp with Kurt because I hear him on fucking the Jimmy Dore show, and I fucking love Kurt Metzger. Like his
Yeah, Kurt.
stand-up too
Yeah,
is
he's
so
great.
good.
But Derp with Kerp is frustrating because he needs to learn to stop talking
Oh yeah, yeah,
all of the time and
yeah.
listen and like he's I mean it's who he is. He can't help himself. He's just like he's
Yeah.
he's galaxy brained and he's got a big mouth and it's just he's fucking
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to hear what his guest has to say.
You need
But
him to forget a word, so he has to put on the brakes like me.
yeah, yeah. It's Bale with Dale. Um Fail with Dale.
Yeah, sorry, you were talking about his guest or something and how he talks too
Oh,
much.
I don't know. I'm just talking about Scientology, which isn't the boogeyman it was at all.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, again, it's also how do you sort through all of this? There are very very serious nodes of power all around us that we don't know
Hmm.
about.
Yeah, I would say Scientology, what my guess of what actually happened was 20 years ago or so, the like actual like I guess like lore of it got out with like Xenu and putting people in like beside volcanoes and shooting like fucking nuclear bombs into those, like basically the L. Ron Hubbard shitty ass sci-fi element of the backstory for it became public knowledge, and
Yeah,
everybody was
once the
like, "What the
cosmology.
fuck?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
and
and some people at the time did make the valid point. How is that cosmology any sillier than ours, than a Christian or any cosmology?
well,
It's
because
a half a good point.
that one's actually silly because I don't know how if this is going to explain it properly because like Christian mythology is all old-timey and doesn't like take you out of the suspension of disbelief, whereas
Yeah.
Scientology, as soon as they say nuclear bomb, you're like, wait, that's a modern thing. How did they do this in ancient times? That doesn't make any sense. And it's just because L. Ron Hubbard was dumb-brained and he didn't realize you can't say shit like nuclear bomb
No,
and you
disagree.
have to like
Disagree.
make it you have
He
to
was
just
he
say
was
like God energy or something, shot God energy into the volcanoes or
he
something.
was anything but dumb-brained. He's a monster, but he wasn't an
Yeah.
idiot. But you're only right until you encounter the work of Dr. John Brandenburg.
Who's
And
that?
then, well, he was he is an astrophysicist
Hmm.
who was working, I think, at MIT and then also not NASA, but maybe JPL, but
Yeah.
certainly had done work with NASA. And you can find him online. He talks about his big awakening when they were doing a study of Mars, and this was, I think, in the 70s, and the Martian atmosphere. And he discovered, I hope I'm getting this right. So I would urge if anybody's actually A, listening or B, interested, look look up Dr. John Brandenburg and hear it from
Oh,
the
is he
horse's
the guy
mouth.
who said that like Mars got blown up by nuclear bombs?
Yeah, he found traces of some element in the
You know
Martian
what? You're right.
atmosphere that can only is only explicable through nuclear explosion.
You have proven Scientology right, Adrian.
Well, I'm not
You
John
have
Brandenburg may be
validated the
full of shit,
backstory of
and it may be
Xenu.
wrong, but there is there are it's not just the Scientologists who are talking about ancient nuclear weapons.
Oh, that total tangent. Do you
And
know
what
about
was
like alien war and all that shit about like how they say Mars like got destroyed?
Yeah. So
It's one
that's
of my favorite
Brandenburg's
sci-fi
hypothesis,
conspiracy
right?
theories.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like humans used to be like an interstellar conquering species, And then basically all the aliens were like, these fucking guys, like we're basically us with like super advanced tech power. And you've seen what we do to third world countries. So just imagine us doing that to the fucking entire universe. So we're just out there being like mad hungry. If you're a Star Trek fan, just think of like the Terran Empire. So we're doing that, and then all these fucking guys, the aliens, they group together and like, oh, we gotta fucking stop these stupid humans. So what they did was like that back then, humans used to be on Earth and Mars, and it was kind of like we had like left our well, I can't remember if we were started on Mars, went to Earth, but whatever, we're on both planets, and we still had to go through the Perseid meteor belt or meteor shower thing. What's that thing called? The Big Ben. It's like a big
I know you're
meteor
talking.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Who cares?
Okay, anyways, we go through this big meteor thing every 6 months, and but we had this like defense with our super space age weaponry where we could detect fucking comets and shit we are gonna run into, so we destroy them, and Mars was fine. So these aliens they got together and they sabotaged the comet like detecting system, and then fucking Mars slammed into this giant comet and it hit it so hard that it fucking bled the atmosphere of the planet into space and basically killed Mars. And then so humans were only left on Earth, and then aliens came down and they fucking like genetically mutated us. That's why we only have like an odd number of DNA pairs where they fused one together. Like, sorry, I'm
Mhm.
trying to just like cliff notes this where there's like so much theory. Basically, the aliens all got together, they killed Mars,
Theory.
and they fucking genetically engineered us to slow down the progress of our like spatial evolution and stuff, which
I
could
see.
also be why MTG quit because Trump was like, "Hey, these aliens don't want us to go to fucking space."
So yeah, everything you just said for the last the longest 3 minutes of my life, I got to say,
Dude,
was
I have episodes
it
on the
gets you
Dale show you should watch.
it gets that's going to get you kicked off of rigorous intuition.
Oh,
But you'd
that's
make
the
your way. What
yeah.
would get you back in is if,
Hmm.
because you brought up Star Trek, it'd be looking at like let's do an analysis of Star Trek and
Hmm.
what a highly sus uh, cultural artifact
Oh,
that
you
is.
mean Star Trek, the fucking military industrial complex propaganda?
Yeah, pretty much. And who? So what do we know about Gene Roddenberry? There's
Bad
a
dude,
great clip of
probably.
Gene Roddenberry. You can find it online where he's talking about, I think his daughters, and he goes off on this wild tangent about little girls and how much he loves little girls and their plump little bottoms and how he likes to feel them and it's the creepiest fucking thing you've ever heard. And then if you the more you look into Star Trek, the more you realize that yeah, there was there's something up with that. And Gene Roddenberry was I believe one of the people that was permitted. Do you know the Council of Nine? Do you know?
Vaguely, it's one of those things I knew and then forgot
Yeah,
with my
yeah.
fucking
I'm gonna get it
Alzheimer's
all
brain.
wrong, but this was an intelligence operation, but culturally important, and also I think Arthur Young of Bell Helicopter was part of this group. So you know, prominent industrialists and so forth were allowed into this group where a strange medium, I think his name was Dr. Vinod,
What a
was
name.
allegedly in contact with the nine gods of the universe or whatever, the Council of Nine. This was all done through a spook by the name of Andrija Puharich, and now that I've said his name, we're fucked.
Eh. Oh, we're
Kind
gonna
of, we're
lose
fucked
what?
anyway.
Fucking 50% of our 30 listeners?
So a guy that had his, you know, fingers in all sorts of very, very creepy, spooky intelligence projects, up to and including, you know, MK Ultra and all of those things.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Roddenberry was part of that crew, and you can see references to the Council of Nine throughout the whole Star Trek mythos, right?
That's
But
crazy.
I'm not the guy to talk about this. I'm again I'm just a drummer, but this is Christopher Knowles's beat.
Mm.
And anybody really interested in this stuff, and it's highly interesting, would be urged to go to Secret Sun blog, Secret Sun. I think it's called the Secret Sun blog. Anyway, Christopher Knowles with a K.
Is that the guy from
This
Nerve?
from Nerve. No, what's
I
that?
thought there
No.
was, I thought there was one
Christopher
of them
Knowles is a guy.
articles.
He's written a book on the. I think he wrote a book on the X Files, but he also wrote a book called "Our Gods Wear Spandex." He's a comic book guy, but he's very much he's a synchromysticist.
So this uh group of nine or whatever it's called, sorry. Is that this is it because I've heard about this before where they're talking about the nine people or whatever, and is this the one where they like surmise that that's who the Egyptian gods were? Like
Yeah,
was also
I think so.
representations of these nine individuals?
He would say no, but if you could invite Christopher Knowles onto Outrage Factory,
Well, fuck,
he
I'll
could
invite
he could
anybody who wants to come.
well he'll straighten it all out. He'll tell
Oh,
us. He knows
I've
what's what.
got the time to listen to fucking woo-woo star shit all day. As you could tell by me laying out one of my favorite conspiracy theories is how aliens sabotaged Mars and killed it and then fucking genetically mutated us so we couldn't evolve into our space warmongering selves.
Well, that aside, I'll stick with for now anyway. I'm Brandenburg is a little less florid in his hypothesis than you are, but at minimum, he argues there was a huge nuclear event
Hmm.
that wiped out a civilization. There are traces of that, and there are still traces. I mean, there's traces on the ground, and I love. So here's a mystery for me because there's a big part of me that thinks that actually we didn't go to Mars. There's nothing. I think we maybe made it to the moon. I don't think we sent people there, but I think we maybe sent
Hmm.
machines there, possibly. I can allow that. I've changed my mind over the years. I used to dismiss the whole, the moon landing as a hoax. I can't dismiss it anymore, I'm afraid, because
Hmm.
everything's a hoax, and there are other reasons for me to question whether or not man walked on the moon.
Do you want to
But
hear my brand new conspiracy about that? Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
so there's this thing where we're like, man walked on the moon, and they're like, yeah, no, that didn't happen. And they're like, well, why can't we go back? And it's because of this like super radiation belt, like the Van Allen
The Van
radiation belt
Allen
or
bill. Yeah,
something
yeah.
that we can't just put through people through because they won't turn into the Fantastic Four. They'll just come back as charred husks. But what happened was at one point, fucking the idiots in charge of shit who we somehow thought were smart because they're scientists, they shot a fucking nuclear bomb into the Van Allen belt to try to disperse it, and they
What?
made it way fucking worse.
Oh, I don't know that.
So my new conspiracy is not that they're hiding that we never went to the moon. It's that we used to be able to just go to the fucking moon. Like basically all you got to do is the telemetry of the shot, aim it and get in the vicinity, and then the low moon orbit will pull you in. But after they fucking nuked outer space and made the radiation way worse because they're tards and they can't not blow shit up, which would be respectable if it meant we could still go to the moon. But this isn't like something I believe. I'm just like starting to like put together theorizing that maybe they're not lying about us not being able to go to the moon. They're just lying about that it's their fault that we
Why we
can't
can't
go to
go
the moon.
back?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, that's equally stupid as so many other things that I'm half inclined to give some credence to. But no, what the point I wanted to make was I'm so enchanted by, William Burroughs did that thing back in the 90s or early or late 80s. What was his Thanksgiving prayer? And he talked about the greatest betrayal of all, and that being that, we should be exploring space, but we're not, or not for good reasons anyway. But I'm so enchanted by these images you see from Mars. They're wonderful. It's really
Hmm.
exciting to me. And so the half of Adrian is like, that's so fucking cool. And there's these robots on Mars that we sent up there, sending back images of things that quite often look like manufactured objects, things
Good. Yeah.
that
Good way
wouldn't
to say it.
occur in nature. And then the
Yeah.
other Adrian that's like, but they're not really there. This is some island off of the coast of Prince Edward Island or so, whatever. There's some theory about that.
Oh
And
yeah. That one
and
that France and Canada keep fighting over.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I guess the takeaway from all of that is it's impossible to know and trust nothing. And William Burroughs, also a spook, he was right. one of the
Yeah.
greatest betrayals of all. We should be exploring space, but it's just being militarized like everything else. So that's
Speaking,
the other thing is like, did we go to the moon? So I look at pictures of, I can accept that maybe those rid ridiculously crisp, clear images of American guys bouncing up and down. I'm talking about the photographs now, which should theoretically shouldn't be possible given how much radiation
yeah,
the
exactly.
film would be exposed to.
Just the temperature fluctuation would ruin
The
the film.
temperature fluctuation, how does your camera work, let alone your moon buggy?
Yeah.
But here we go. I don't want to be this guy. I'm this guy, but I don't
I
want to
want
be.
to open the world to science fiction backstory, not close it off. Like, is there anything more depressing that we've just not, there's nothing from outer space ever. We've never left the Earth. We've just been fucking pink monkeys that lost our hair and just kill each other for dumb reasons. And we're never going to be more than that. And we're just going to like build up these financial institutions and then break them because of our greed and then try to start new ones because that greed didn't stop with us bankrupting the entire planet.
It's it's a strong position you got there, Dale. And I would add that you're pinker than most monkeys again.
That's true.
What is that?
That's
Is
just the
it
lighting in here. It's oh, it's here. Hold on. Maybe if I
the pinkest of
changed my
monkeys?
ring light color.
There was a who
Is
was
am I less pink or am I
no,
just bluey pink?
oh my God, you're way pinker now.
There. I'm a little less pink when I make it more.
You still
I
look like you
do,
got rubella, but
dude, I do have red face,
yeah.
and my
Okay.
emotional state on most
I
days
think the
would
preferred
reflect that.
nomenclature is indigenous.
Indigenous to fucking Holland.
What's the name of the guitar player from the Cramps and the Gun Club? I'm blanking. I've turned into Dale. I can't think of the
Yeah.
guy's name.
I would
Kid
offer
Congo
help.
Powers. Kid Congo Powers, who I love. I did a great interview with him once, and he has a band called the Pink Monkey Birds.
Oh, nice. I'll be a
Good
fan
band.
just because the affinity for pink skin.
And I'll tell you something about him. He did a show at the Railway Club, oh, way back around 2007, 2008, and I reviewed it. And he's a gay man. He's a
Hmm.
and he's a yeah, like he's a very he's not
Oh, is that
camp,
what the
but he
pink skin is about? Dicks?
oh, it could be.
Oh.
Could be. But I remember getting a lot of praise for that review. It was a good piece of work. I was actually proud of it. And I used the word faggot in it, which you can't
Ooh.
say now. And Kid Congo Powers liked it. That's all.
Nice. I like how there's just a story about you getting away with saying the word faggot in print.
I know I can't do it anymore.
Dude, Tucker
We
Carlson just did Pierce Morgan's episode,
I know I
and he
yeah.
said that word like 20 times just to like, but Pierce Morgan did say it
Oh, did he
in
in the
reference
end?
to Tucker Carlson
Well,
saying it,
okay.
because the whole
Well, that
point was,
Pierce Morgan, that's him in a nutshell. He'll take all sides depending on how convenient it is for
yeah,
him.
dude,
He's,
I know I'm not supposed to like Tucker Carlson because everybody hates him because he's right wing and he's definitely probably CIA,
he's fucking one, not probably,
but
definitely. You had it right at definitely.
he does make me laugh when him and Pierce Morgan are doing a show pretty much like this,
Yeah.
except for their whole fucking, and they're just like Tucker Carlson's just trying to trick Pierce Morgan into saying the F word. It's pretty good. I gotta say. I might be a child at heart and fucking mind, but it made me laugh.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. I'm amusing myself to death too, like everyone else. I
Hey,
gotta go open the bar.
okay. Thank you for doing this. That was episode 282. Um,
282.
yeah, we talked about some good stuff. One day I'm gonna convince Adrian to come to my world of alien hybrids and fucking Mars stuff because I don't know, it's just good sci-fi.
It is good sci-fi. The
Um,
fi part we really got to lean into. It's fi. It's very much
yeah.
fi.
Yeah, don't dig your head in the sand and just ignore everything. Just make a fantastical shit about humans who used to be in space forever ago.
Yeah, But
It'll
don't lie
help,
to
I
yourself about
swear.
the important stuff, the stuff all around you, the stuff that's impacting your bottom line right now and making it very difficult to get by in
Yeah.
one of the most prosperous countries ever.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Those are my closing thoughts.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how much money you make, greedflation will make it seem like it's not enough. Don't think about that. Think about fucking Mars getting destroyed by aliens.
Uh, it's nuts that I have to like break my back. I have so many jobs and like tips. I gotta do a song and dance every night for those tips because I'm a man who's almost 60 and
Yeah.
I've been in a beautiful marriage for 20 years now. I got a great family. My kids are wonderful. We should be okay. We should, and it's
Yeah.
not like we're very modest in our needs and very modest in our desires. But no,
Yeah,
no, and
that's
I'm
the
and
whole
I
depressing
just
thing about this. It's like me too. I'm 46. I've had like a welding job, good job at a shop for
yeah.
7 years. And I still live in a one-bedroom apartment. And just the ongoing theme of Canada is like, we should be doing okay. Why aren't we?
So we should have gotten back into the whole pipeline thing because there's a lot to say about that, and there's a
Oh
lot to
yeah.
say about how prosperous we could be in this country. But anyway,
I
that's
just
a
don't think pipelines are like I'm pro pipeline to a point. I don't think this one's going to make us richer. It's just going to shit
no.
oil
That's
on the coastline.
of course no, and it's not going to benefit us.
No.
Nothing's going to benefit us.
Yeah,
But
they'll
in
just
this
take away the
resource-rich
trees.
nation that we inhabit, I
Yeah.
do realize the official state ideology is that we are colonial settlers living on stolen, genocidal settlers on stolen land. I get that, and there's some credence to that, but we should be doing better. All of
Mhm.
us, pink people, indigenous people, all of us, we should be doing a lot. We should be okay,
Yeah.
and we should be talking about it amongst ourselves.
There's more than enough to share. Let's fucking share,
Oh
guys.
yeah. Yeah, there really is.
Okay.
I gotta go. I gotta go
Yeah.
and not say these things at my bar.
Well, I'm glad you come here to say them to me because
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for the
I'm ready for
opportunity
it.
to spout. I appreciate it.
No problem. Until next week, stay angry.
So long.